Welcome back to Factorio with me, JT. Well, basically 0.160, the very first update, or the very first release of this major update. It's been 7 months in the making, and 15 was great. We had a lot of content. We built the Gigabase. We've gone on. We've done SpaceX, or doing SpaceX. We're doing the Bugging Around series. It's been a great release. 16, I have been holding my breath for, at least for last week or so since it got announced. But I thought, look, it came out at midnight. It's now an hour and a quarter later, and I'm still up, and I'm still reading, and I'm still looking, and I'm still investigating. So I figured, look, let's at least go through release notes, because I need to go to sleep. It's been a long day already, and tomorrow, or today, in like 8 hours, 9 hours, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to start playing with 16. I'm going to do a couple more videos going over some of the major features, some of the minor features, some of the new interesting things I've found out. But major features, we have. Let's bring up the zoom a little bit. The logic buffer chest. You can request items that are still available to the logic network. The logistic buffer chest. So it's a requester chest and a passive provider chest. It's gonna come in handy. I can already think of a bunch of places where I have literally done a requester chest to an inserter, to a passive provider, knowing that the bots were going to move stuff back and forth to a certain amount, but that was something that I couldn't do anything about, to have forward bases for like repair packs and bullets and lasers and that sort of stuff. So the buffer chest will be a much improved like forward position logi chests or passive provider chests. We've added the artillery wagon and the artillery turret. We didn't know about the turret. That's going to be awesome, which will all make shoot at biter nests and worms. So bye biters. We've added the cliffs, which we know about. They're if anybody's old enough. Command and Conquer, which was the first game I really saw where these optical illusion cliffs got added into the game, or were added in a game, and it gave you the perception of height. It's not actual real height; it just looks higher and lower. We have the train block visualization, which was covered in a Friday Facts. We have our building entities over identical ghosts. We'll revive them. When building a different entity on top of the ghost, the settings of the ghost will be copied if possible. So I'm guessing that means if we manually put an assembler over a ghosted assembler that has a recipe, hopefully the recipe is going to copy it across. Train schedules and weight conditions can be rearranged by clicking and dragging, so we can finally move things up and down, which is great. New mini tutorials, combat robots, construction robots. We'll look at that at some stage. Belts, underground belts, and splitters can now fast replace over each other. Thank God. Robot ports now provide the repair packs they have for other robots to use. So in the past, if you manually fed repair packs into a robot port, they were useless, basically. Now you always had to put those repair packs into a passive provider, and a bot would come pick it up and use it, and then basically dump it in a robot port where it would never be used again. So basically it was a bit of a bug fix more than anything else. Sometimes roboports used repair packs that were in the roboports, but not often. Really not often. Logistic request tooltips now show the count of the items in the requester on the way and in the network. So that's going to be very, very handy. Your main inventory can now be filtered. So you can say, hey, I want my first row just for belts. And reserve that area for belts. Don't fill it up with wood or some other crap, just belts. Again, handy. New terrains, new terrain generation. Yep. It's looking prettier. All terrains, including stone, path, and concrete, have transitions with water, which we saw just the last Friday Facts. Map generation dialog now contains a preview of the map. That'll be awesome. That'll stop. I know a lot of people, they re-roll maps all the time. I'm more of a, you've seen my starts, it's like, go! Crap start. We're going to play it anyway. Control Delete now deletes the whole word in a text field rather than a single character. I didn't even know that was a feature. Underground belts. Placing underground belts as a ghost properly retains its type as an output underground belt. I've had this problem repeatedly. Remote building belts and finding out later on that I've placed them down and they've placed the wrong way around, and I haven't found out about it for ages. Underground belts now respect nearby ghosts and if become an output if an import ghost is nearby. Yeah. Underground belt and pipe ghosts, when hovered, show the outline of where they will connect, which is also handy. Where are we? Dropping items on a belt manually won't split the items if they... More stuff. Yep, go away. If they won't fit on the belt, yep, whatever. Trees can be configured in the generate map GUI. So we can do a toxic jungle where it's just nothing but forest. Which you think would be a really handy start, but it's a really horrible start. Let me tell you. There is only so much wood you can burn. Hotkeys can be unbound by right-clicking. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, alright. Rail chain signals can be read by the network, which will be awesome. Because there's been a lot of things I've tried to build, and I have to read a chain signal. I can't. And if I put a full signal there, it breaks the actual, what the trains are meant to be doing. So, that will be great. Small electric poles and medium power poles can be fast replaced with each other. Again, a great update. Multiplayer players can now ride as passengers in cars and tanks. Excellent! So much better than when your tank blows up halfway across the map and you have to run back, whereas everybody else gets to drive. Electric power poles and power switches can be opened from the zoom to world view. I thought power poles already could be. But power switches will definitely be awesome. I wonder whether it means we can actually change things on the fly. So, power switches, you can hook up a circuit condition on/off. I wonder whether you can manually change them from the other side of the map. Train can be configured in the generate map GUI. When holding offshore pump, we get little green boxes, same as we do with the oil pumps, to say where they can be built. After desyncing multiplayer, the game will not automatically connect back. Instead, dialogue with more information will be shown. Awesome, because we've had a lot of desyncs with the Bug Around series, and it really hasn't told us what's wrong. And some desyncs would rejoin and work fine, others would just desync for 20 minutes straight. So, yeah. All map visualizations work also when zoomed in map mode, where normal view and map view is combined based on radar player coverage, whatever that means. Graphics, more stuff in high resolution. All terrains now in high resolution. My poor GPU. Blueprints and ghost entries now have the walls, pipes, and belts connected, which is awesome. It's going to make especially those large balances a lot more easy to read. New alert icons. I don't know if they're custom alerts that we can use with the what's it called? The speaker, or just they've added new alerts. We remove the assembly machine 1 from production sites. So much iron is going to be saved, because that thing was expensive. Nuclear reactor stack size, change nuclear reactor size to 10. I think it was 50, which was ridiculous. 10 is still overkill, but sure. Cluster grenade recipe to military 4 research was so unfortunate, because I've just found the cluster grenades, and they're fun. Change uranium ammo from military 3 to military 4 really doesn't matter. It's so expensive. You probably have military 4 anyway. Explosives now produce 2 per craft, which is great, because I need it for cluster grenades. Slightly adjusted some recipe craft times to better reflect their ingredient count. I haven't seen this at all. I've had a quick look through. I can't see anything. It's not glaringly obvious to me, but I'm sure I'll find that out when I have a proper look tomorrow. Where are we? Biter scale less with distance, and there are generally less biters. So the way that reads to me is eventually, if you explore out far enough, you'll just get to a point where there are no biters, which sounds great. Except with expansion on, there's a good chance they're going to still be everywhere because they've expanded into these areas where they had miles and miles between two biter bases. They're now expanded over and over and over, and they're now everywhere. But sure, maybe. Resources are much more spread apart. Compensate patches are larger. Great. We needed more room between patches. Since it's easy to mine, the amount of resources on them, the map is 3 times less. Okay. That's going to be interesting. That we'll have to look at, because I was looking at starting a tutorial series leading to a gigabase now-ish, within the next week. That's something we'll have to look over. Maybe we'll have to wait for RSO to be released, because I'm so not doing the version 15 Rail World. That just sucked when it comes to resources. Resources scale slightly less over distance. Again, that's a bad thing. We want it to scale more over distance. We want lots and lots more. No uranium in the starting zone. Great. There are 1.5 times more iron on the map to compensate for the extra iron required in a typical game. Excellent. This one's another good change. Like, there's lots of things in change. I'm not going to read all of them. And bug fixes, I'm not going to read most of them. We're gonna stick with the important ones. So the train doesn't need to come to a full stop when changing from manual to automatic. Great. I don't know why that was put in, because that was one of the advantages. If you had something that you couldn't quite see all of it, you could still blueprint an area and get a whole train station or a whole something by seeing part of it or guessing really, really accurately. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate, but I'm pretty good with radar coverage, so I generally cover everything. Increasing the limit of recipe categories from 255 to 65,535. I don't think we need that many categories, but sure. Copy and paste from assembler to requested chest now scales with assembler speed and recipe crafting time. So in the past, it just asked for 10 times the recipe cost. Now it's actually looking for about a minute's worth of production, which means hopefully you'll have less crap sitting in your requested chest doing nothing because it's a craft that takes 30 seconds or a minute to go. Blueprints never show the number 1 when held in the cursor. Excellent. Robots in the air for a personal robot now count towards logistic requests for that robot type. Oh. So this one was, if you had 50 construction robots and you built something and all 50 took off, it would then count as you having no construction robots. So if you're inside the logic network, you'd have 50 delivered. And then you'd have 100 on you. So the way to get around that was auto trash 50. But the problem was you just kept pulling some out of storage to put them back into storage to put... Yeah, it was a pain. It was a workaround, but it was a pain. And I don't know whether you guys can hear it, but that beeping in the background is my phone going off. It is 1:30 and I'm getting that many messages about 0.16 out. So, thank you guys for telling me. I found out within 4 minutes because I happened to hit the refresh button and my watch actually started exploding. But yeah, I know 16's out. I've already put out one video. This is the second video. This one. Remove the option to turn off item groups and subgroups in the GUI. It can still be done through the config file or the Lua commands. I'm surprised. I've had a couple of people, they play with, like, rather than having 3-4 different categories, it's all just one long, list of all the things you can craft. they prefer it that way because there's no swapping between the different tabs. It's all ordered, but I don't know why the devs turned off the option. The button was there. It's just I don't get that one. So placing a tag is now right click, which is good because the amount of times I click and drag and end up with or I'd left click off to my second screen to do something and left click back on to map view and happen to bring a tag thing up. Easy dragging underground pipes and belts were not moving in a perfect straight line. So I'm pretty sure they've set that up so now we don't get bumped out of alignment by trees and rocks. Again, this is if you deconstruct a bunch of train track and then rebuild the train track, re-blueprint the train track on top of some of the existing train track, you had to wait for the first one to be picked up, for the second one to be put down. Now it'll just go, oh, nope, you're putting train track straight back down where it is, we'll just leave this one here. So again, speeds up building, I love it. Oh, that could be dangerous. That could be very dangerous. Yeah, that's me yawning. Like I said, it's 1:30. The map view will attempt to treat very short clicks as clicks instead of drags to make it easier to click things. Okay. Explosive cannon shells now target the ground where you shoot. So in the past, explosive cannon shells just launched in a straight line. And if they hit something, great. If they didn't hit something, they reached max range and just hit the ground. Now you can actually target them, which is handy because trying to hit spawners and worms whilst driving with biters everywhere with explosive shells was slightly awkward. So hopefully that'll improve it. Resources have much less trees on them near the player's starting area. Excellent. This one, tanks no longer take a minuscule amount of damage from hitting trees. Yes. Probably still going to take some damage from running through a forest, but this one could be interesting. The locomotive will show train ID in its tooltip. The ID can be used in circuit network conditions. When two trains are being merged, the decision which schedule should be used for the merge change as changed from the biggest schedule to the schedule that was last changed. Okay. Don't merge trains generally, but sure. Number of entries in hand when... Okay. Added sliding when a player collides with water or enters with a rotated boundary box. No idea what that means, but I'm hoping it means... No idea. Improved drawing of turret radius and blueprint. Many overlapping radius no longer covers train completely. Okay. External blueprint library is no longer merged with a blueprint library in the save. Instead, in-save library is always overwritten by the external one. Okay. Bug fixes. I'm just gonna... I saw that one. Ghost light emitted light. Ghost rail signal emitted light. We're just going to skip bug fixes. Optimization. This was a really important one to me. I've been watching every Friday Facts, and I've got my own little notes that I've been keeping, and I had about a 20% performance increase. We have belts around about 5 times. Great! Prefetching the next item, update loop to perform overall in performance, blah, 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 blah. Again, that was covered in Friday Facts. It's really, really technical. But in theory, we got a 10% performance increase. We have performance of item manipulation, 4%. We have in the crafting machine. This was again covered in a Friday Facts. I think it was Kavorax who did this one. He spent hours and hours and hours going through all the code, rewriting all the code. Thought he was on a real winner, 2%. 2% is not nothing. And he also did the prefetching, I think. Or maybe that was our seeding. Electrical. So improve the performance of electrical network transfer more than twice. I've noticed a lot of games, my electrical network, the UPS usage is very, very high. So hopefully that fixed it. Improve the performance of smoke greatly. Well, I've already turned mine off. It's already turned off with the mod ages ago. For the extra whatever smoke uses, I don't care. I don't want to see it. I prefer the UPS. Improve performance when building rail blocks with many segments. Now, we had plenty of problems in the Gigabase due to the sheer number of tracks and trains being stupid and grand loops and all those sorts of things. But I'm hoping that this will improve the Gigabase. Logistic providers and requester chests. Also got an improvement. Blueprint previews. Yep, we all have seen big blueprints being picked up and your FPS just drops to 5 or less. And the startup time when a sufficiently powerful computer is detected. Basically multi-threading. Again, it was covered in Friday Facts. If you boot the game and you have a multi-threaded CPU, anything it can swap off to the multiple cores, it will. So can't argue with that, because we all know playing and testing with different mods, you might reboot the game 20 times. Plenty of stuff in modding, plenty of stuff in scripting, and that's it. So, the only other thing I want to show you is this. We'll start with the simple stuff. We'll start with fast replace. That's awesome. Let's drag this belt out here. One thing I'm actually curious about, so we click there and click. It even picks it up for us! I'm in Sandbox mode, in case you're wondering. There is no me. There is no me down here. There is everything is unlimited. It's like a free man's creative mode. So we got our high resolution lights and rare reports. I don't know whether I'm missing something. The rare reports look better, but not as good as I'd expected, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Or maybe my GPU just sucks. That's entirely possible. They said the tank's been updated, but they haven't mentioned the car yet. So I don't know what the story is with the car. Solar panel got a rework. I love the new solar panel. The tank's got a rework. I love the studding on the outside. The rivets on the outside. I have no power. So you can see the radar is going ultra slow. Now I remember seeing the radar in the Friday Facts. And I remember this little gear in here actually turns. So does, I think it's a gear up here or a gear down here. I'm not seeing it. And graphics. Video memory all. Textures large as possible. I don't know why I'm not seeing the best graphics ever. But I just feel like it's just... Maybe that's what I'm missing. Maybe that... I don't know. Maybe they could look better and I'm just doing it wrong. And then finally we've got the new labs, which I'd love to power up, but can I power them up? Let's put a chest down there. Let's put... I have no idea which science packs you need. I have no power, so we've got to do everything with burner inserters. And a bit of fuel. Hell. Fire up! Nothing's happening because I don't have enough power. I just don't have enough power. pick up the row report. Am I missing anything? Purple. Purple. Have some purple. Have... Really? I can't craft space science. Oh, that's frustrating. Can I do anything that does not... No, I can't do anything that does not involve... I want to see this up, because it lights up fully blue now. And it looks pretty from the screenshots I've seen. Anyway. So, we have our artillery turrets. And if you look at them... These are the main things I really want to show off. We have a shooting range of 168 on auto, 560 on manual. We have a minimum range. I don't know what the automatic range is. That's a bonus, because we now have these researchers. Artillery shell range and artillery shell shooting speed are now part of the infinite research upgrades. So eventually we could get to a stage where we could shoot, like, in theory, if you go Gigabyte style, whole map lengths with these guys. So these guys are going to end up being quite powerful. But you can see I've done the basic research to unlock all the bits and pieces. Plus, I've done 1 shell range, 1 shooting speed. And the shooting speed is ridiculous. 0.3 plus 0.3 seconds. We're talking 0.6 seconds between shots. That's a bit overboard, guys. And the train one, same story. It's they're insane. We need to feed you fuel, actually. Because this one has a stack of 15. And as you can see, 500 physical and 500 explosive. Basically, it hits anything, it's dead. This one has a stack of, I don't know. The artillery shells stack in a stack of 1. So not very high at all. We're going over 50. And as for costs... 4 explosive cannon shells, so let's go back to explosive cannon shells, which is 2 steel, 2 plastics, 2 explosives. Not so bad. 1 radar, sure, let's launch the radars into space, into the biters, and 8 more explosives. It's a fair bit of explosives, and I can really see future 016 maps pumping out the explosives in a big way. Actually, that's probably something I'm going to do very shortly in a new map, is work out how to direct insert as many explosive machines as possible off one sulfur machine. Because you can produce 2 every second, you need 1 every 5 seconds. So that means I need 10 machines surrounding you, 1 of those. That's going to be interesting. You can hold 85 and going strong. So let's just assume 100. I do have one of these in my hand. And... now, in the Friday facts, it did say when you put down the targeting, every single gun in range will pick at it. Turns out, no. As you can see, they aim at 1 each. But, you know, if you want to lay down fire and make sure nobody's getting past, this will definitely do the trick. Just watch them go. You know, you got to think that that's a lot of materials being launched through the air continuously. So yeah, as for what was the other major updates, I know. So, if we hover over any of these items now, they now tell you what they use, not in iron plate value, but in iron ore value. Like, and a stack inserter needs 1 coal, which must be for plastic. Ah, the coal is, and the petroleum is for the plastic, which makes the red circuit. Plus, we need the iron and the coal and the copper to make the red, the green, the gears, and all the parts for the fast inserter and the fast inserter itself. So that's nice. I really like that feature. The fact that we're now getting a raw cost, not just an arbitrary. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. This used to say some plate, some iron plate, some copper plate, plus some stone for the electric furnace, red circuit for the electric furnace, some steel. Plus, it just said 1 electrical engine unit, and you had to hover over engine unit to find out what it cost. One of which was 1 engine unit, so you had to hover over that, and you had to add the whole up. It was a giant pain in the ass. We're now just getting totals, which is awesome, but also means the age-old problem of that's 257 iron for 1 underground blue belt. That's 39. That's 50. 39 plus 50 is, what's that, 90? So a low density plus a rocket control unit, 2 of them. So 2 of both of those, which are rocket parts, like rocket parts, are cheaper than Express Underground Belt. Oh, yep, I'm tired. Think about that. That means Express Underground Belts are really expensive. And we do have cliff explosives. And I went and found some cliffs. Okay, all the way this way. It took me ages to find cliffs in this map. Now, I don't know if that's a feature, in air quotes, or a bug, or something just not correctly implemented yet. But I have these cliffs. And I don't know, sometimes they seem to work, sometimes they look odd. Like this one just looks odd. I think it's something Command & Conquer learnt the first one, and then further applied it to the second one. They did more shading here to give it a better impression of, you know, this goes this way. And the other thing is I don't think they ever ended, they stopped any walls going straight up. They always curved off to the right or the left for a little bit first. But see what I mean about fake walls? You know, you blow them up and straight away you can see, oh, that was just an optical illusion. Especially when they join up at right angles. Like, that looks like a wooden wall dug into the sand dunes. A lot of these look like wooden walls dug into the sand dunes. I admit the art guys are probably really, really good, and they've done a really, really good job, but they're just being blown up so easily. Yeah. Alright, last thing I want to show off, and it's something I found out whilst digging through the game and having a playthrough and a bit of a look, is we had rocket fuel, which was fast and awesome, and where's our... Still miles to go. Fast and awesome, and had a fuel value of 225 megajoules with a vehicle acceleration of 180%. And where am I now? There. And then we have this bad boy, which takes one of those rocket fuels with some 232 and gives us nod to Back to the Future. 1.21 gigajoules of power, but more importantly, that vehicle acceleration. 250%. That is miles ahead of anything else. So we're going to test this out. I have, on this train, put in 2 nuclear fuel. 2 nuclear fuel on that one. And we're going to change you to inactivity. And we're going to change you to inactivity. Alright, we're going to go there. That didn't take so. And yeah, acceleration's not crazy. I don't know how heavy one of these are. They could be quite heavy. But we've used well, boom. Yep, that works. And you've gone back already. Yeah, that works well. So the other thing I want to do is I want to do a race. We have this bad boy, who's our rocket fuel simile, being our 312-3, which is the size I built on the Gigabase. And then we have this really bad boy, which is a 120. It turns out. And you're running nuclear fuel. And, sorry, you need to go to automatic. And we need to go to here. Nope. Done. So they already had their options set. Whoops. I was hoping to have a nice fair race. And to go. No path. I must have missed a railway track somewhere. Not that I can see. Oh, really? Behind a tree. Alright, let's just put that there. Running race is ruined. Jonathan, send you to Jonathan. Alright, try again. Really? Add a fuel? Okay, so we're going to have a running race. There's a bit of a disparity between our two trains, but unfortunately our rocket train is still winning. I know it was given a massive advantage, and we're running at 150-ish, 130, still accelerating, and braking a lot. So I still think, yeah, nuclear trains are definitely faster. Not nuclear trains. Well, nuclear trains are definitely faster. And that's probably a new question. What's the max speed we could hit one of these bad boys? And circuit edition. Oh. Okay. And 2. What are you called? Jonathan. Jonathan, second edition. Really? Crunch. Well, don't know what your speed was, but hopefully it was fast. But look, that's where we're going to leave this one. We've learnt a bit about 16. We're by no means done with 16. I get to cover some of the patch notes. But I'm looking forward to 2 things. 1 is a lot of sleep. And 2 is actually getting to play 16 proper. High resolution bots as well. Yes, they don't look any better on me. I must be running the wrong graphics. Alright, whatever. But yeah, we'll have a look at that tomorrow. And yeah, feeding one of these guys. I don't know if it's the cruelest joke ever. It's an inserter. So even if I put like a single piece of nuclear fuel in there, I'm not going to see that inserter for like 3 months, 4 months. End of game. I got no idea if we could productivity module this one. That's the other thing I don't know. I'd like to know, like rocket fuel we could prod mod. I don't know about the nuclear fuel. That would definitely be interesting. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to actually leave it here. Thank you guys for watching as always. Yeah. Thank you guys for always. Thank you guys all as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed and found this episode a little bit informative. It was a good 4 minutes of stuffing around and having a look-see. And yeah, we'll see what tomorrow holds. I have a feeling that there's a few more things I could go a bit more in depth in. But at the moment, Sandbox mode doesn't give me what I want. Creative mode doesn't really work either because it's not updated. Oh, that was the other one. Gigabase. I did load it up. My power all got deleted almost instantly. Looks like I was doing about 50 UPS. 80 UPS. So it looks like those optimizations in this game have really, really paid off for 0.16. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with more Factorio 0.16 content. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye!